Welcome to Wealth and Means, advice dressed up like hard work.
Each week, we explore ideas that help you pause, reflect, and think more deeply about the opportunities all around you.
It's the perfect mix. A little information, a few stats, some real world insights, and just enough deep talk to make you feel smarter before your second cup of coffee.
Today's episode is stacked: what you didn't see in the news, your 5-minute head start in Wake Up Ready, a knowledge bomb on laziness, Humor Me, the greater debate, and we'll close with our Invent Again series.
A quick thank you to our sponsor, Nost Moments at nostmoments.io. Share your most precious memories. Share the Nost Moments.
Wealth, do you think anyone is listening to us?
They are, means. We have listeners in the United States, Tanzania, Germany, Finland, and Jamaica.
I hope our friends in Jamaica get their power back soon. Let's get started so they have something to listen to when they come back online.
What You Didn't See in the News, the segment where we dig up the stories that didn't dominate your feed, but probably should have. Because while everyone's arguing about the same three headlines, the real internet is moving in stranger, smarter directions. Let's start with vampires. No, not another political metaphor. Actual vampires. Lego just announced a Twilight set. Yeah, 2001 pieces of brooding nostalgia. It's the Cullen family house, complete with sparkly Edward, Bella's truck, and a tiny Jacob in full wolf mode. $219 of pure millennial regression. But the move is genius. Lego isn't selling bricks. It's selling time travel. It's part of this new nostalgia core economy, where the same adults who once lined up for midnight premieres now collect miniature replicas of their own childhood memories. And here's the business angle. When this set sells out, and it will, expect studios to flood the market with adult-grade toys. Hunger Games, John Wick, you name it. Because nostalgia is the only commodity that never needs R&D. Next, neurofeedback therapy near me. That search term has exploded, and it's not just wellness junkies this time. This is a brain training method using EEG feedback to teach your mind how to calm itself. It's getting insurance coverage, finally, under billing codes, which means you might actually get reimbursed for biohacking your anxiety. In short, the future of mental health isn't just in pills or meditation apps, it's in dashboards for your neurons.
Wait, so this is like meditation, but with billable brainwaves?
Pretty much. It's the hybrid of neuroscience and self-improvement culture. The promise? Regulating your mind through real-time biosignals. The catch? The data's still ahead of the science. But it's a glimpse of where mental health is headed. Measurable, personalized, and yes, partially reimbursed. Now, a biotech headline you definitely missed. Rani Therapeutics, ticker Rani, shot up over 200% after signing a billion-dollar deal with Japan's Chugai Pharma. Their pitch? A pill that replaces injections for biologic drugs. No needles, just swallow and heal. If it works, and that's still a big if, this could be one of the most disruptive delivery platforms in medicine. Think of it as Uber for pharma. Same payload, less pain. The company's cash runway now extends to 2028, but biotech moves slower than its stock chart. So if you're watching, watch the data, not the dopamine.
So you're saying we're finally turning shots into swallowables?
Exactly. It's a huge shift for patient comfort and drug economics. If it works, and that's still an if, it could disrupt delivery systems across the pharma industry. Rani just extended its cash runway through 2028, but investors should remember, biology doesn't move at Silicon Valley speed. Okay, now to the bleeding edge. Google's Quantum AI lab quietly dropped a result that, yes, might actually matter. Their Quantum Echoes algorithm ran on a 105-qubit chip called Willow and simulated chaotic systems 13,000 times faster than the world's best supercomputer. The big deal? It's reproducible. That means we're not just chasing quantum fairy dust anymore, we're getting repeatable physics. The implications are massive for materials science, drug discovery, even cryptography. But don't let the hype fool you. No one's solving world hunger with qubits just yet. Google's aiming for logical qubits within 5 years, the point where quantum error correction stabilizes. If they hit it, the next industrial revolution won't be AI. It'll be quantum plus AI. Speaking of revolutions, meet Retina e-paper. A team of researchers published a breakthrough display tech in Nature that packs 25,000 pixels per inch. That's 150 times your phone's density. It uses tungsten oxide nanodiscs to shift color like a living surface, meaning sunlight readable, battery light, no glare, no eye strain. Imagine AR glasses so sharp you can't tell where the screen ends and the world begins. If they can manufacture it at scale, this is the death of the screen as we know it. Education, gaming, even medicine, everything goes holographic. It's the kind of leap that'll make you wonder how much reality you're really seeing. And finally, because we all need a breather, a little roadside genius from California. A driver in Merced County got pulled over for cruising with a hand-drawn license plate. Cardboard, ballpoint pen, perfect cursive California logo. It was honestly impressive. The officer gave them points for creativity and a $197 ticket. The photo went viral because, of course, it did. It's a reminder that in an age of AI and quantum processors, the internet still worships good old-fashioned human absurdity. And yes, replacement plates cost $27. That's 1/10 the ticket and zero chance of becoming a meme.
So that's what you didn't see. Nostalgia as an asset class, mental health turning into software, biotech redefining drug delivery, quantum proving it's not vaporware, and e-paper rewriting the screen, all capped by one cardboard philosopher on Highway 99. Because sometimes the future doesn't make the front page, but it's still unfolding right under your feed. What a week. What's up next?
Means you need to wake up ready. Okay, let's start the week before it even starts. OPEC Plus is meeting virtually all weekend. Think of it as the oil world's version of Sunday brunch, except the mimosas are crude barrels and everyone's arguing about output for 2026.
So translation, if they tighten supply again, Brent could pop back over $70 and your Exxon and Chevron shares might finally stop ghosting your portfolio.
Exactly. Upside surprise here boosts energy names, but if they extend cuts too far, miners and manufacturers get nervous. Fewer signals of global demand. Call it the calm before the market open storm. Monday morning, the vibe shifts from barrels to factories. We've got the US ISM manufacturing PMI dropping at 10 a.m., with the S&P Global version right before it.
Numbers below 50 mean contraction, right?
Right, economists are pegging 48.5. Translation, factories are still in a funk. But traders will be watching the prices paid sub-index like hawks. If that ticks up, inflation talk comes roaring back. Earnings side, keep eyes on Palantir after the bell. This is the AI defense hybrid everyone either loves or doesn't understand. They're expected to post 8 cents per share on $700 million in revenue. The call at 5 p.m. could set the tone for AI stocks all week.
So PMI gives us the how's the economy and Palantir gives us the how's AI's momentum.
Nailed it. Sprinkle in BioNTech's pre-market results, and you've got a full Monday plate. Tuesday, it's jobs and orders day. We get JOLTS openings. Economists expect 8 million. If it comes in hotter, yields harden, and tech names may take a breather.
Wait, I thought fewer openings were bad for workers.
It is, but in Fed logic, fewer openings means cooling inflation, and that's good for stocks. Welcome to the paradox of 2025. Then there's factory orders, a CapEx pulse check.
And earnings.
Oh, it's a buffet. Uber, Shopify, Spotify, BP, Eaton, Hut 8 Mining, and Energy Fuels. Think of it as the tech-to-energy cross-section of the entire economy. If Uber's free cash flow looks good, fintech peers perk up. If BP talks up buybacks, the oil patch rallies. Shopify's AI tools could spark an e-commerce bounce.
That's like speed dating the S&P 500.
Midweek is macro meets micro day. ADP jobs before breakfast, ISM services mid-morning, and FOMC minutes with your afternoon coffee.
So we get private payrolls, a look at 70% of U.S. GDP, and then a peek into Jerome Powell's diary.
Exactly. If the minutes sound dovish, expect a weaker dollar and a commodity pop. Add in Qualcomm's earnings after the close. Their AI chips and handset guidance are like the weather vane for semiconductors. Energy watchers get Devon Energy and Albemarle. Shale and lithium, two sides of the new energy story.
Basically, if Qualcomm says AI is strong and Devon says oil's steady, you've got a soft landing week.
Or if they both disappoint, buckle up. Thursday brings the weekly jobless claims. Think of it as a market mood thermometer. The line to watch? 240,000. Above that, and the recession whispers get louder. Across the pond, the Bank of England is expected to hold rates, but if they hint dovish, the pound weakens and the dollar strengthens. Not great for U.S. multinationals.
And the earnings headliner.
Airbnb after the bell. It's basically the proxy for travel, consumer confidence, and do we still have money to spend on experiences? Plus, ConocoPhillips at noon to see how disciplined big oil's capital spending really is.
So Thursday's story, rates, travel, and oil discipline, a global trifecta.
All eyes on Friday's U.S. employment situation report, the big one. Economists expect 125,000 new jobs, unemployment at 4.1%. Anything hotter could push the Fed away from cuts. Cooler data might fuel a rally.
Basically, it's the difference between soft landing and no landing.
Exactly. Add Michigan consumer sentiment right after. Inflation expectations north of 3% could spook growth investors again. Canada also drops its labor data, a good read-through for commodities.
So Friday is the Fed's compass day. Whatever happens there sets the tone for November trading.
And we close the week with two conferences that could quietly move next week's narratives. The Cantor Crypto and AI Energy Infrastructure Conference in Miami. Think power grids meet GPUs. And the New Orleans Investment Conference, a haven for the resource and crypto crowd.
Translation: expect a few AI-powered uranium blockchain headlines floating around X by Sunday night.
Exactly. If NVIDIA-adjacent power names or uranium miners announce new partnerships, that could juice Monday's open. So that's your roadmap for the week. Oil at the top, jobs at the end, and AI threading the middle.
In short, keep your coffee hot, your watch list tighter, and your OPEC alerts on.
And that's how you wake up ready. While knowledge may be power, timing is everything.
And now a knowledge bomb. You ever notice how every culture, from the Mississippi Delta to the mountains of China, tells the same story, just with different animals, tools, or gods? Work hard, stay humble, pull your weight. That's the moral encoded in our oldest operating system, the world's folklore. And it's wild how consistent it is. You've got the little red hen grinding alone because no one else will help bake the bread. The ant and the grasshopper showing that play today means hunger tomorrow. The three little pigs literally huffing and puffing proof that cutting corners collapses the house. Different species, same subtext, effort earns reward. But here's the twist. Today, we're testing that ancient code. In a world debating universal basic income, where you could, in theory, get your slice of bread without ever planting the seed, folklore steps in like an old voice from the crowd saying, "Careful, kid, you're messing with human nature." Let's go around the world for a moment. In Germany, Mother Holly showers gold on the girl who works hard and pitches the lazy one in tar. Cosmic justice, the universe itself rooting for diligence. In China, the foolish old man who moved the mountains literally digs through impossible odds, his descendants carrying the mission until the gods intervene. Perseverance so powerful it moves the divine. And then there's John Henry, America's hammer-swinging folk titan who dies proving man's worth against the machine. He wins, but at the cost of his life. The legend's message isn't about efficiency, it's about dignity. The pride that comes from sweat, from strain, from doing something yourself, because people don't write songs about the guy who sat it out. That's the deeper thing our ancestors were coding into our culture. Work isn't just how we feed ourselves, it's how we find ourselves. Every fable, every moral, every bedtime story was an apprenticeship in meaning. Now, folklore doesn't just praise work, it also fears laziness like a virus. From South America's The Lazy People, a village that offloads all labor to magical servants until even the servants get lazy and chaos reigns, to Uruguay's La Abeja Haragana, the lazy bee who learns the hard way that not working leaves you out in the cold. These aren't quaint tales. They're warnings about what happens when effort disappears from the social fabric. And the African story, Why the Sky is Far Away, it's perfect allegory. When humans could eat the sky's food for free, they wasted it, took too much, and grew careless. The sky floated away forever, forcing humanity to work for its meals. That's not just myth. It's a metaphor for every era that's grown too comfortable and forgotten where prosperity actually comes from. So here's the knowledge bomb, wealth and means style. If we design a future that disconnects survival from contribution, we might solve one problem, but we risk detonating another. The human spirit's muscle memory is built on effort, struggle, and triumph. Remove that, and you don't just lose productivity, you lose purpose. The moral that folklore keeps whispering across centuries and continents is simple. We were made to move mountains, not to be airlifted over them. And that's the real story the fables were telling all along.
Before the robots, there were little wooden monkeys.
I see you know your fables, Wealth.
Means you've inspired me, so I have something special for you.
I can't wait. Lay it on me. Humor me.
The Three Little Coders and the Big Bad Algorithm. Once upon a time, in the bustling digital village of Byteville, three little siblings, Pixel, Cody, and Meme, were given a shiny new laptop by their parents. Build something amazing, Mom said. But remember, the internet is full of trolls, bugs, and sneaky pop-ups. Work hard and you'll be safe. The three nodded, sort of. Pixel, the oldest, was a go-getter. She rolled up her sleeves and built a brick-and-mortar website, a sturdy online bakery with real recipes, customer reviews, and even a payment system. It took weeks. She tested every button, baked every cookie, and wrote thank you emails to every order. Her site was rock solid. Cody, the middle child, took the lazy route. He slapped together a stick-and-tape blog using a free template. Good enough, he said, copying recipes from Google Images and adding sparkly GIFs. He spent more time watching cat videos than fixing broken links. His site wobbled like a Jenga tower in a windstorm. Meme, the youngest, did nothing. He opened the laptop, stared at the screen, and declared, "I'll just wait for the algorithm to make me famous." He created a TikTok account called at Viral Vibes 420 and posted one blurry selfie with the caption, "When the Wi-Fi's slow, but your dreams are fast." Then he scrolled for hours, liking, commenting, and waiting for the likes to rain down like digital confetti. One day, the big bad algorithm, a sneaky, ever-changing AI monster with a clipboard and a frown, came sniffing around Byteville. "I'm here to rank websites," it growled. "Show me value, or I'll bury you in page 97 of Google." First, it visited Pixel's bakery. Fresh content, real photos, fast loading, 5-star reviews. The algorithm smiled and gave her site a #1 ranking. Customers poured in. Pixel sold out of chocolate chip cookies by noon. Next, it slithered to Cody's blog. Duplicate content, broken links, ads everywhere, zero effort. Poof! The algorithm blew a gust of 400 errors. Cody's site crashed like a cheap drone in a tree. His followers, gone. His revenue, zilch. He had to start over from scratch. Finally, the algorithm found Meme, still scrolling, 0 posts, 0 work. No content, no engagement, no value. Whoosh! It deleted his account with a single swipe. Meme wailed, "But I was waiting to go viral." The algorithm cackled, "Idleness is the fastest way to the digital trash bin." Meme and Cody, red-faced and screen-burned, knocked on Pixel's virtual door. "Can we help in the bakery?" they asked. Pixel grinned. "Only if you're ready to work, bake, write, test, and ship. No shortcuts." From that day on, the three little coders worked side by side. Pixel taught them to build with care. Cody learned that copy-paste doesn't pay, and Meme discovered that likes don't bake cookies. Effort does. And the big bad algorithm? It still lurks, but now it ranks their bakery #1 every week. The moral: work builds walls that even algorithms can't blow down. Idleness, that's just a one-way ticket to the recycle bin.
You worked hard on that one, I see. And now, the greater debate. Each week, we host the greater debate, the debate that should happen, but hasn't. Through the power of imagination, caffeine, and let's be honest, a full night's recovery sleep, we conjure what that debate could sound like. Picture this, a packed town hall buzzing with anticipation. The lights dim, the murmur fades, and two lecterns gleam under a warm amber glow. Between them stands a moderator. The audience, students with debt, parents doing the math, taxpayers eyeing fairness, leans forward. At one podium stands Senator Elizabeth Warren, sharp-eyed, her hands already punctuating invisible graphs, the moral mathematician of structural inequality. At the other, Joe Manchin, broad-shouldered, a blue suit that's more country fare than coastal boardroom, the fiscal pragmatist of Appalachian realism. The moderator takes a breath and opens. Tonight's question is simple and stubborn. Should public college be free and existing student debt widely forgiven, or should aid be targeted with personal responsibility and work requirements attached? Senator Warren, you begin. Warren steps closer to the mic. Her tone is steady, deliberate. College has become what high school was a century ago, a gateway to the middle class. When we treat higher education like a luxury good, we ration opportunity by wealth. I support tuition-free public college and broad student debt cancellation because higher education is a public good. Unpayable debt drags down our entire economy, home buying, entrepreneurship, family formation. And the burden falls heaviest on Black, Latino, and low-income borrowers. We can fix this with a modest wealth tax on ultramillionaires. We created this crisis through public disinvestment. We can solve it with reinvestment. Then Manchin leans in, one hand on the lectern, his voice deep and unhurried, carrying that West Virginia gravel. Help those who need it, sure, but don't hand the bill to folks who never went to college or already paid their loans. Free is never free. Broad cancellation shifts costs onto truck drivers, nurses, and welders who didn't benefit from a degree. Let's focus on personal responsibility, financial literacy, and means-tested aid. Stimulus that ignores debt and inflation isn't compassion. It's recklessness dressed up as fairness. The audience murmurs. Some nod at Warren's empathy, others at Manchin's fairness. The moderator raises a hand. Let's move to the first question. Is higher education a public good or a private benefit? Warren doesn't hesitate. It's both. Graduates benefit, but so do all of us. A more educated workforce drives innovation, productivity, and tax revenue. When we stopped funding it publicly, tuition soared. We replaced public support with private debt. That's not destiny, it's policy. Manchin meets her gaze, calm but firm. And policy should be smarter, not bigger. Fund those who truly need help. I support free community college pilots and robust Pell Grants, but universal freebies mean subsidizing wealthy families. If a low-income student earns a nursing degree, great, but we can't pay for everyone's philosophy degree just because it feels fair. I can feel the air thicken. Moral arithmetic meets fiscal fairness. Warren's "we rise together" collides with Manchin's "we pay together." Both land cleanly, neither retreats. The moderator pivots. Next round, debt cancellation, stimulus, or handout. Warren's eyes flash. Debt cancellation is relief that hits the economy fast. When borrowers aren't shackled to monthly payments, they can start businesses, buy homes, move for jobs. It's not a bailout, it's a reset button for the middle class. Manchin tightens his jaw. Stimulus with borrowed money just adds interest to the next generation. A waitress shouldn't underwrite someone's master's degree. Let's invest in Pell Grants, apprenticeships, and real work-based value, not blanket forgiveness. Now comes the cross-examination. Warren leans forward, voice soft but edged. Joe, you keep saying targeted, but decades of means testing created a bureaucratic maze that hurts the poorest borrowers. Simplicity is justice. Manchin chuckles, nodding. And simplicity isn't subsidy. Let's auto-enroll everyone in income-based repayment with caps and forgiveness after steady payments. But we must stop students from overborrowing in the first place. Fix the pipe before mopping the floor. He pivots, almost conversationally. Elizabeth, how do you justify canceling debt for six-figure earners? Warren answers without a blink. Because middle-class families took on debt to compensate for state disinvestment. 95% of borrowers would get relief. The wealthy wouldn't. Trust was broken when government walked away first. This restores it. The sparring turns surgical, Warren's scalpel of simplicity against Manchin's hammer of fairness. Each blow lands measured and audible. The moderator interjects. Let's talk about fairness and equity. Warren gestures with open palms. Black and Latino students borrow more, pay longer, and default more. Debt relief narrows that racial wealth gap. Fairness includes repairing harm we helped create through public neglect. Manchin nods once. Agreed, we should make defrauded students whole. But fairness also means reciprocity. You serve your country, teach, heal, build, and we wipe the slate clean. That's equality with effort. Warren counters, calm but insistent. Service programs are great, but too small. We can do both, relief now and service going forward. The crowd murmurs, shifting in their seats. This is the debate America's been dodging for years. Moral equity versus moral hazard. The moderator smiles thinly. Lightning round. What systemic fixes would stop another debt crisis? Warren rattles off tuition-free public college, banned profiteering, automatic income-based repayment, and public refinancing at low rates. Manchin answers free community college, bigger Pell, real bankruptcy paths, accountability for failing schools, and shared risk when students default. Two roadmaps, one universal, one conditional. Both quietly admit the same thing. The old map led us into debt quicksand. The moderator calls for final rebuttals. Warren steps closer, her voice tightening into conviction. The targeted, complicated, prove you deserve it model failed. Simplicity is not charity, it's efficiency. Let's stop punishing ambition with interest. Manchin straightens, his drawl sharpening. No one promised life without trade-offs. Degrees pay dividends. So should effort. Aid must lift, not enable. Responsibility is compassion. Warren lands a moral jab. Manchin counters with fiscal discipline. The audience is split, but fully awake. As the debate closes, Warren's final words rise with urgency. Debt relief and free college are investments in the future, reducing inequality, restoring mobility, fueling growth. The cost of doing nothing is greater. Manchin's final words are low and steady. We fix what's broken without bankrupting fairness. Help those who need it, expect effort from all, and guard the taxpayers' trust. The moderator wraps it up with a quiet list. Free community college, expanded Pell Grants, simpler repayment, service for forgiveness, accountability for colleges, a patchwork of possible peace between fairness and forgiveness. The applause comes, not explosive, but sustained. Not because anyone won, but because, for once, it felt like clarity, not chaos. Fairness isn't just who pays or who benefits. It's who we choose to be when opportunity and obligation collide. That was the greater debate.
Let's invent again with Frank Zamboni. Every great invention starts with one thought. This is ridiculous. For Frank J. Zamboni, that ridiculous thing was watching 5 exhausted workers spend an hour and a half scraping, shoveling, hosing, and squeegeeing an ice rink just to get a decent skating surface. Born in Utah and raised in California, Frank was a child of the American tinkering age, the kind of person who couldn't look at a machine without wondering how to make it smoother, faster, or cheaper. He and his brothers started out fixing cars. Then they moved into block ice production. But when electric refrigerators killed that business, they didn't quit. They reinvented themselves and built Iceland, a massive 20,000 square foot indoor ice rink in Paramount, California. The rink was a hit. The maintenance, not so much. Every night was the same exhausting routine. Scrape the ice, shovel the snow, hose it down, squeegee the water, spray a thin layer of new ice, and do it again and again. Frank watched this nightly ordeal and thought, there has to be a better way.
So basically, this guy looked at 5 dudes mopping ice and said, what if one guy could just drive the mop?
Exactly. That's basically what he did. He spent years experimenting in his garage, tinkering with war surplus Jeep parts, conveyor belts, and custom water tanks, until in 1949, he rolled out the very first Zamboni machine. It was brilliant. It shaved, washed, and refroze the rink into mirror-smooth perfection in just 15 minutes. One machine, one driver, and the job was done. By 1954, Zamboni & Co. were producing machines for rinks across the country. And when the 1960 Winter Olympics in Squaw Valley hit television screens, the Zamboni became a star in its own right, gliding across the ice between hockey periods like a quiet, mechanical ballet dancer.
That's the moment automation literally met chill.
Right? Before the Zamboni, resurfacing the ice took an hour and a half and 5 workers. After the Zamboni, it took one person 15 minutes. That one innovation transformed ice sports. Hockey games could run back to back. Figure skating shows could run longer. Public rinks could host more sessions, which meant more kids, more access, and a faster, safer game for everyone. Today, there are more than 15,000 Zamboni machines in use around the world, and the company is still family-owned, still based in Paramount, California.
75 years later, and it's still the quiet hero of every intermission. But it's not just nostalgia anymore, right?
Not at all. The Zamboni story has become a case study in sustainable automation. Since 2018, fully electric Zambonis have rolled onto the scene. Zero emissions, whisper quiet, and cheaper to operate. Modern versions use laser leveling, AI-powered sensors, and water recycling systems that can cut water use by 90% compared to the old hose and squeegee days. Even the NHL's Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle uses them as part of their net zero operations. There's something poetic about that. Clean energy, clean ice.
And you know your invention's legendary when your name becomes both a verb and a toy. Zamboni is literally in the dictionary and in Lego.
Exactly. The Zamboni isn't flashy tech, it's invisible genius. The kind of innovation that hides in plain sight, quietly making the world run smoother. Frank Zamboni didn't invent ice. He made it better. He proved that progress doesn't always mean reinventing everything. Sometimes it just means finding the friction and smoothing it over.
And somewhere out there, a kid in Canada is still trying to break the Zamboni lap record, 6.9 seconds flat.
Frank Zamboni didn't set out to be famous. He just hated watching 5 guys mop ice for an hour and a half. His fix: one machine, one driver, 15 minutes. Perfect ice. And that's how a garage inventor from California changed winter sports forever and taught the world that real innovation often starts with one simple thought: this is taking too long. Well, that's it for another episode of Wealth and Means. Advice dressed up like hard work.
We hope you enjoyed the range from quantum to ice, college to work, and fables to faster ways of doing things.
Subscribe, rate, and share this episode. It helps more than you think.
We do this for you to help you have a better week, a sharper mind, and maybe even a longer attention span.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Nost Moments, because the best investments are still your memories.
Until next time, stay curious
Stay kind.
and keep compounding.